Hello everyone! So today I wanted to make a video on 10 books for actors, and I wanted to take a few books from my collection that I have that I reference a lot or that I have enjoyed reading, and I also wanted to include 2 bonus books, and they aren't necessarily directly acting related, but I feel like they do help actors a lot, so I wanted to include those as well. So you get 12 books total for your acting journey. For those of you who don't know, I am an actor and I am based now in Los Angeles. I used to be in the San Francisco Bay Area market. Also, I wanted to say that these books are not going to be in any particular order. Just take that in mind when I'm doling them out here. So the first book that I wanted to show you is this one. I love this book because it is literally just actions. It's a thesaurus basically for actors. So it's got all of these like verbs and actions. It's really a good tool for when you're going through a script and you're doing your breakdowns. Next up is this book. This is actually I just stumbled upon this book randomly, but I love it. It actually is really great for actors that have just recently come off of like a class or a technique or reading a really like technique heavy book. This will help you get out of that like in your head part. I mean, techniques are great, don't get me wrong, but they tend to get you more into like that intellectual side of your brain. But this book is actually really good. As it says, it's How to Stop Acting. I always reference this book whenever I've done a lot of like intellectual work in my head, and I want to get back into like the feeling of the scene and the character. Okay, so I'm gonna kind of reverse engineer that one now. So I'm gonna give you a really heavy technique book now. I love this book. It is a great book. It actually, I think it explains just everything very clearly of Stanislavski. This book actually condenses his ideas and work into one book that's really easy to digest. Like, I would say maybe a great starting book if you're trying to like understand acting and you're like confused about all these things. People throw around like objective and tactics and all these different words, and sometimes it's a little hard and overwhelming at first when you first start acting to like get a hold of everything and like understand what's going on, because you'll get like different words will be for the same thing and all of that, and you don't really get a set definition of those words, and so this book is great for that. Next up, I wanted to show you a book that is actually not an acting book at all. It is a directing book. My girl Judy is such a good author of this book. It's about directing. However, many actors will find, especially when you're not really working with like a well-seasoned director, that you're kind of directing yourself a lot of times, or you're having to translate what the director is saying and then bring that and kind of direct yourself in a way, if that makes sense. So halfway through it says actors, resources, and training, and it actually goes through a lot of like the acting experience. It gives you a really good idea of how to be a good actor by way of directing. It's obviously well loved and referenced. Okay, so next up is a book that I enjoy. It is called The Power of the Actor, and this is the Chubbuck technique by Ivana Chubbuck. And I actually took classes at this studio virtually before I moved down to LA, and I enjoyed the classes as well. It's very clear on what the steps are. Each chapter is a step, and it goes through like the scene objective and everything, and substitutions, and it defines those for you. It's a little bit method acting in a way because a lot of yourself is being incorporated into the role. Next up is another technique book. It's maybe not even technique, but like technical. It is this book. I bought this book because I was in a class that required it, and it is amazing. It explains being on screen and how it differs from being on stage. It is the most thorough book I have ever read on acting on camera. I feel like there's not like a lot of explanation in just the general world of what makes a good screen actor and what makes a good screen performance, and so that is all answered in this book. at the end of each chapter, he'll list movies and kind of like the topic he was talking about in the chapter, and then movies and then the timestamp to show a case example of that topic that he was talking about. So I thought that was really cool because then you could go and reference that. Next up is Roadblocks in Acting. This book is basically all about the roadblocks, as the title says, the roadblocks you're going to experience while acting, or what certain actors tend to have in like roadblocks in giving an authentic and meaningful performance to yourself and just being a performer in general. It really does, it goes through like your qualities as an actor and kind of what your personality is as an actor and as a human, and where you'll start to find challenges and as you're acting and how to overcome those. It has a lot of good exercises in it of how to overcome your roadblocks and how to become more confident performing. I got this book because I started to freeze when acting, and I just started to get in my head too much, and I know that that is the thing for my personality, is getting in my head while performing. So I got this book because of that, and it has been great. A really cool perspective is that he talks a lot about psychologists and the psychology of performing, and it's a really cool book to just to get that perspective. So next up is, I don't have the book here. I have the book, I don't know where it is, so I'm gonna put it up here. It is called, Michael Caine is the author, and it is called Acting in Film: An Actor's Take on Movie Making, and it is an excellent book. It is similar to the Secrets of Screen Acting book that I showed earlier. That one is, his take on it is really cool as well. It is a really good book for learning how to be on camera, how to perform for the screen, how to give an authentic performance on set. And he also has videos on YouTube, or it was like a filmed seminar that he did, and it's on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, I will link that down below as well. All right, last acting, like directly acting related book is The Tao of Show Business. This book is a career book. Obviously, it is how to navigate the entertainment industry. What I really like about this book and why I've included it on this list is because it is about finding your why of your career as an actor. Everyone has different niches and different goals as an actor. So this book really goes, it takes you on a journey to clarify what it is that brought you to acting and what kind of things you want to act in. It really makes you feel confident about where you're going, because sometimes you start to feel a little lost when you're doing this whole acting game. It's a fun read, a lot of cool exercises in here, and again, it kind of has that like psychology perspective to it of like, getting inside your head and like figuring out who you are, because we got to find our own super objective. It's not about just the character super objective. So I realized I actually have 3 bonus books here. First is The War of Art, a really good book about being an artist and being a creative person in a creative field. It's basically, how to get out of your way. It kind of incorporates a little bit of the Tao of Show Business topics along with the roadblocks in acting book. Again, it's not necessarily just for acting, but it is very useful in how to push through your roadblocks as a creative individual. Okay, so this book is kind of more on the personal growth wave, but this is Atomic Habits, and I know this one's pretty popular. Atomic Habits is all about making change through tiny steps. I think that this is a good book as an actor to read because there are a lot of steps to becoming an actor, a lot of maintenance going on, a lot of career stuff you have to deal with, and a lot of just general stuff you got to do, and so it can feel all overwhelming sometimes. And as creatives, we can be more in that sphere of like wanting to be free. This book actually does a really good job at changing your life or changing your habits in a way that's easy and manageable and authentic. It's all about making tiny changes and feeling success, and I feel like that can really help you in your acting career because whether that's like you're avoiding doing a self-tape because you're whatever, like all the things in your mind that come up, using this book and his technique, you can create the tiny habit of making self-tapes or practicing your craft. Okay, so final book that I wanted to share with you, again, it's not a directly acting related book, but it is Big Magic by Elizabeth Gilbert. It looks like this. It's about finding your magic, your kernel of creativity, and fostering that and honoring that and blossoming it. And so it's an inspirational book. I flip it open from time to time just to read parts of it, just to feel excited again about my creativity. And she gives you permission to just fail and to discover, and you don't have to have it all figured out, and you can just take the time to have fun and be a kid about it again. So I hope that this video helped you and helped kind of stimulate some ideas of books to read. Thank you so much for coming on here and watching this video. If you liked it, feel free to give it a like, and if you enjoy my content, definitely hit that subscribe button and you can see more of my videos. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you in my next video.